Good morning!
Do you notice anything different about our outfits today?
This is so fun.
Why doesn't my crown fall off? This is not even realistic.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Remember, starting last week, Wednesdays are our finance and money conversation Wednesdays. Because look, the reality is physical freedom is the most incredible thing. However, we do live in the 21st century, and financial freedom is equally as important. So we want to share the love. Wow, Nicole Carey, Boogie, your auntie's
Nicole just wants Boogie. We were really hoping that if we put him up here, he would get a crown too, because he is
King
Boogie. Okay, but I'm going to be distracted with these, so let's figure out how we... Whoops, there's a light. How do we turn this camera back around to us? Okay, great. Crowns.
Crowns off.
And
You
there
have
we
the
go.
mystery mask back on. Oh, there we are. Now you guys can take us slightly more seriously. Okay, let's say good morning.
Good morning.
See.
Good morning, Teresa. Carrie. By Carrie, I mean Nicole Carey. Bethany.
Kristen.
Had to look at the I and the R. Kelly. Brittany. Emerald. Oh, I waved. Joseph. Tammy. Heather. Carissa. Crystal. Junellen. Sarah. Monica. Darcy. And whoever else. There's more people, but we
Whoever
can't see.
else we can.
If we didn't say your name, say hola to Boogie.
Boogie, you want to start? Do you want to start us off with some stats today?
Do it for Boogie.
So let's begin with some stats in order to really hone in on the importance of learning financial education, right? Because once you understand, or get an idea of the big numbers, you'll realize, of course, the dire need for this, right? So you guys, the stats that we have are, by the way, pre-coronavirus and everything that's going on. But did you know that 76% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck? 76% of Americans.
I did not know that, but I'm not surprised.
But here's the thing, that is before the crisis has happened, so I can only imagine that it's worse right now, because if it was 76%, you know, in a good economy before we got hit with recession, then right now the numbers must be way off, right? So if you think about it, 3 out of 4 people, right now there's 24 people in the room, I think it would be safe to say that, what is 3/4 of 24? That only 16 people in the room will be able to have money for over 14 days. God forbid, if they were to lose their job. Do you understand the severity of this? It's insane, right? However, just like when it comes to our health, and the reason why we're so passionate about it, right, is because, look, by the end of the day, you're in charge, right? It is your responsibility, just like taking care of your body, it's also your responsibility to take care of your bank account. However, we believe that because financial education, just like, nutrition and just overall wellness is not something that is just taught. You don't know what to do. So when you don't know what to do, you feel nervous about it, right? And that's why that's why this country is overweight. And that's why also, like, we just shared with you this stat.
Or if you don't know what to do, sometimes you just think that you can't.
Yes, you're blocking yourself.
Yeah.
You're limiting yourself. Right? So, look, you know, this is a very vulnerable topic, and if you're here, then you know that we love to keep it real.
We're not new to vulnerable topics, though.
Right. So, like, I would love it if you guys were to drop a comment and say, wow, I can totally relate to this, if this speaks to you. Because if it does, then you need to pay, like, extra close attention.
Or you could have an understanding of it, but no longer be living in that space, because maybe you were at some time. I think that, you know, I mean, most people can relate, obviously, based off of the stat. And now, especially considering the condition of our economy, it's definitely, that percentage has gone up, for sure. Some people don't even have a paycheck. So you can't even say living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
There isn't even one.
Right. But the intention behind today, too, is that if you're one of those people, then our intention by the end of today is to help you get over that hump. Because nothing changes if nothing changes. And just like with your physical body and health, it is your responsibility. You can't blame the economy. You can't blame coronavirus. You can't.
And you know what? We'll say this over and over again. There is no shortage of dollar bill, y'all.
Yeah.
Because
there's no shortage of money because there's no shortage of people.
Yeah. If you may have a shortage of money, but there is not a shortage of money, which means you can get yours if you have the right knowledge, the right discipline, just like with fitness, right? You can get your dream body or your perfect body if you have the right knowledge, the right discipline, the right help.
And you've been consistently implementing it. You can know everything, but if you don't implement, right? Like money it's a practical habit, just like changing your body. It's a practical habit. I see overweight people all the time who have all these degrees in nutrition. You know all the things, but you don't know how to apply it. So money too is mindset. And that's why, you know, we love talking about this because for one, it needs to be educated. It needs to be educated for women. We're extremely passionate about help you to gain like freedom without feeling badass in your own body. For one, you're never going to be capable, like trying to get a job or starting a startup or anything, right? That's for one, because your confidence levels are low. Now, here's the thing. In order to go and get your money, you need to have courage. Courage is something that's created from within. So physically, that's step one. Step two is to do whatever it takes in order to live your dream life. And you know what? You hear a lot of people say, money is not everything. And it's true. Money is not everything. I would say that health is the greatest gift, but money is very important. And money can like buy your way up into happiness. Would you agree that Oprah Winfrey is living a way more fulfilled life than most women in this world? She has a lot of money, right? Because money gives you opportunities. However, when people are scared of money because it's not talked about enough, right? So then they block themselves. They're like, I'm not in it for the money, really? Like, if we were to just give you $10,000, will you say, no, I don't want it? Of course, it's a resource. Why wouldn't you want it? But if you're limited with your resources, you need to get resourceful. And that goes back to ownership. And it's all mindset, and you guys are going to see it. So 76% of Americans, and that's not like even Canadian stats, European stats, Asian stats, African stats, Australian stats, like America is the wealthiest country in the world, and 76% of Americans pre-coronavirus lived paycheck to paycheck. I can only assume that now, because of the recession, it's worse. Did you guys also know that only 4% of Americans have over $100,000 in the savings account?
How many? Can you say that again?
4%.
4% have $100,000 in savings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I want to give a huge shout out to anybody in this room who has over $100,000 in their savings account, because that shows that you're very disciplined and you're also a hard worker. And
you have to be a hard worker to have that amount. You have to.
You have to be a hard worker, but you also have some kind of integrity.
Integrity, discipline, strategy, planning.
Yep.
Consistency.
I really want at least one of you guys to be one of those people. But if you don't, that's fine. However, our goal is to have everybody who's listening in the room to get there. Because once you agree that if you had $100,000 in your savings account, you will feel less stressed out. How many times do people block themselves of incredible opportunities in life because they simply don't have enough? Like,
how many times have you had to say no to an event or a trip or something that you wanted because you didn't think you could afford it?
Yeah. Or how many times did you block yourself from an opportunity that would actually change your life because you didn't have the single resource? Now, we just said that it's not about having the resources, it's about you getting resourceful. So you have to understand that in order to get there, first you have to become resourceful. Don't just expect resources to come. Look, you can have all the money coming into you, but if you don't know how to become resourceful and you don't have the education, the discipline, you're gonna end up in the same place anyways. Look, we see NFL pros, NBA pros literally make millions of dollars a year, and it's like if they don't have their habits right,
so many of them end up bankrupt.
Right. And it can happen to everybody. So know that it's not about having a higher salary or getting a higher level of education. It's about getting financially educated and having a plan and discipline.
Which then leads to, it doesn't matter how much money you make, it matters how much you can keep.
Yeah, I think Jonellen said that. So you guys,
and Andrea said too, you gotta be a smart worker more than a hard worker, but I would argue and say you have to work smart and hard. For financial freedom. And what does that mean? What is financial freedom? This is like tossed around all the time. My idea of financial freedom is when your passive income exceeds your expenses. Your expenses.
Yeah.
Which, if you're a female, they are expensives.
So let's say coronavirus hits, you're still getting that same amount of money without even raising a finger. Mm-hmm. Now this can happen with only one thing, and it's called investments. Now, in order to get to a point where you become an investor, you need to understand the first 3 steps, because otherwise you're never going to get there, right? And for one, know that in order for you to become an investor or in order for you to gain financial freedom, that does not mean that you have to inherit it. In fact, most people who inherit like a big lump sum of money, unless they've been financially educated too, will end up losing it all. Because it's all mindset and strategies, all of it. And you guys, we want to teach it to you in a way that it's been taught to us. And we're extremely grateful, and that's why we're sharing this information with you. And if you guys are also wondering where are we getting this information from, we're getting it from Grant Cardone, because we are what we call Grant Cardone licensees. So we are licensed to teach his material.
But we're getting it like the technicals, yes. Mm-hmm. But we also have it from experience. We also have it from other people within that community who have proven successful.
Yeah.
And by successful, I mean they've been consistent over time in making more money and keeping it and investing it to make more and being smart with it.
Yeah.
I keep trying to think of that song. I know there's somebody here who can help me. And anybody who's like in the first person that comes to mind is Lauren. I don't know why, because it's a country song. But it's like, Nah, it could buy me a boat. Oh man.
Oh,
But it could buy me a boat. And it could buy me a truck to pull it. And it could something with some silver bullets. Yeah, I know what they say. Money can't buy everything. Is that how it goes?
But it can buy me a boat.
But it could buy me a boat.
And a boat can basically take you anywhere. But then you gotta fill it up with gas. So basically you need money. You need money to live. Like, give us an amen, hallelujah, emoji, or whatever if you agree.
Yeehaw.
Okay, we're badass women. Look, the saddest thing to see is a woman who looks badass, but then she can't take care of herself. What a huge turnoff. Right? Like, how you do anything is how you do everything, and that's why it's our obligation to teach you guys these things, right? Like, you have to overcome yourself. So, 3 steps, okay? There is 3 simple steps, okay? For one, you have to earn it. Like, there needs to be an inflow, right? There's got to be an inflow, right? Otherwise, you're just blocking yourself from the rest of the flow that keeps on happening, right? So, you know, a lot of people right now, I think there's 40 million people in the United States without a job. And of course, it's disheartening.
That's just the number of people that filed for unemployment. I think it's more than that.
Yeah, of course. I feel like out of these people, most of them are blocking themselves because they don't take ownership for what they're capable of doing. They expect to be taken care of by their employer, by their government. That's not the case, dude. Like, look, the economy is changing, and you need to learn to change faster than the economy. So if you learn how to adapt faster than the economy, then for one, you're always going to be good with step 1, right? Like, make it your obligation to go get a job. Just because you've been laid off doesn't mean that there isn't an opportunity elsewhere. What?
Okay, let's have closure on this. Okay, it could buy me a boat. It could buy me a truck to pull it. I don't know anything about guns. This is why I was confused on this part. But apparently, it could buy me a Yeti 110 iced down with some silver bullets. Yeah, I know what they say. Okay, I'm not a singer. Great. Credit card debt is like for real thing.
Yeah, we're going to talk about credit card debt. Getting out of debt is a bitch, you guys.
Dude, 7 more months. Jeanette, nice. I know what that feels like, to be paying some shit off.
But you will see that the reason why people get themselves into credit card debt.
This is so funny. They're gonna make fun of me so hard because the Yeti apparently is the cooler. I'm thinking like, bitch, you got iced. All right, I don't know. 110 makes me think about it's some kind of you know, cars have numbers behind them. Okay, sorry, I'm totally off topic right now.
Yeah,
I'm like
How
butterfly.
is this adding value right now? But
You're here to add value. I'm here to add value in entertainment.
yes,
So
sure. And that's why we make a good team. But step 1 is go get your money. Go get your money. And guess what? The more streams of income you have, the better. Don't ever rely on one stream of income, because guess what? It's almost like, you know, vessels in your body. One of them gets blocked, you're gonna die, right? But if you have like 10, one of them gets blocked. Okay, yeah, there is a consequence, but are you gonna die? No. Right? However, if you're at 0 right now, then your job is to get 1. And remember, we are all things happen because of us, not to us. So if you're like, woe is me, I lost my job, dude, stop wasting time, go get another one. That's simple, right? So now, that's step 1, okay? You gotta earn it. And something that Grant said, don't say make it, because the government makes money. They print it. You can't make it, you earn it.
You earn it, you keep it, you multiply it.
Yes. So the second thing is keeping it, having the discipline to keep it. Just because you got an inflow of something doesn't mean that you have to spend it all, right? And this is why also like learning discipline within your body is so important, because you're going to realize how much easier it becomes once you've gone through step one, which is basically like overcoming your body. Okay, so just because your family members are eating cookies and treating themselves like shit doesn't mean that you have to do the same, right? That's like you getting something, spending it all, right? Just because you got a paycheck doesn't mean that now you have to go spend it.
It's the financial yo-yo diet.
Yeah.
Ooh, got it, spent it,
Ooh.
got it, spent it, lost it, gained it, lost it, gained it.
How you do anything is how you do everything, dude. So set aside some, right? And like the way that we've been taught is whatever you get, you need to set aside 40%. Because guess what? If the IRS is going to take 40, then shame on you to not give yourself 40.
Okay, so let's go over this real quick, just to put it into perspective.
Yeah.
Where's my phone? Oh, my phone is here. I want a calculator. I want to have a calculator. Mm-hmm. Can you find your calculator?
Yeah.
Give me your face. Give me your face.
The phone is stressing out.
Okay. Where is it at? All right, so we're going to check out a calculator here. And we're going to say that if you have everything you earn, right? Everything you have, 100%. Now, if taxes, let's say, unless you're a savvy business owner or investor and you know how to work the system or use the laws to your advantage, right, and follow their rules, taxes are going to be like 32 to 35%.
But you always want to be safe. You always want to have the extra, so you go 40.
So let's do this. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, I want to make $100,000 a year. Okay, so let's take $100,000 and we're going to show you how much money that really isn't to live off of.
It's 60,000.
So yeah, but that's not it. So we're going to take we're going to take the 40%, right, from taxes. Okay. Oops. Now we're left with 60, right? Now we have $60,000, and then we're going to take expenses.
No. First, you gotta have the discipline of putting the money aside.
Okay, so if you're putting $40,000 away out of your $100,000, there's something else that I was thinking of. What else takes money? There's taxes, there's your expenses, and then whatever's left over. Okay, so let's say you put aside. If you want to put aside 40% for yourself, that's another $40,000. You're left over with literally $20,000 for your expenses. Is that actually very much money to live off of? If you want to actually get ahead or get anywhere. Let's talk about like expenses plus consumer debt. Like most people's expenses exceed $50,000 a year anyways.
Yeah.
Right? And then the further into debt you get, the higher those expenses get too.
Right. And this is the importance of this, you guys, because unless you're being taught this way, you're going to settle for less. Right? But if you're going to settle for less, what's going to happen is that you're going to live the rest of your life working. Which you should work because you love it. But you shouldn't work because you have to do it, right? However, unless you get yourself to a point where you become an investor and money works for you, you will spend the rest of your life stressing about money and needing to work in order to get money.
And let's mention the fact too that when we talk about 401ks and all of this stuff, now by the time anybody our age gets to the point of retirement, is there actually going to be anything left?
No, dude.
Like, look, like your money in your 401k is not guaranteed.
It's not.
It's not guaranteed. It's in a fluctuating market.
And here's the thing. The government just released $9 trillion. Where do you think that's going to come from? It's going to come out of everybody's 401ks. And that's why you absolutely cannot rely on the government or on your employer, because they're going to focus on themselves first, because that is their obligation. So that must be your obligation too. But the disruption is that so many people, right, unless you're being taught otherwise, end up living by default due to things that happen in the economy, and due to things that happen in the government, and due to things that happen in their company. Look how many companies had to file for Chapter 11. So what
it's more like being alive as a victim.
Yeah. So now, is that called freedom? In my opinion, that's far from it, because you're going to be dependent for the rest of your life. And that's why you have to make it your obligation to understand these steps, so that you can work your ass off, right, in order to become financially free. Because until you will gain financial freedom, you're always going to be stressed financially.
I'm gonna say this too. Like, if you're not willing to work hard, you will not be financially free.
Yeah.
You have, like, a lot of people, there's so many things online, and I want to punch them all, that are like, make $100,000 in however many couple months or whatever, or these, like, which, yes, it can happen, of course, but that doesn't happen when you're first starting out.
Dude, right? We fell for that trap so hard. We fell for it so hard.
Yeah, we did, and we were rudely awakened, but we didn't give up. Yes, and just like weight loss, like, shame on us for believing that, because we know it's the same as weight loss. It's like, if somebody tells you can lose 20 pounds in a couple weeks or even a month, like, that's not a thing. Yeah, maybe you can, actually. A lot of people do it, but you're going to gain it back. Anything that is achieved easily is also lost easily. Yep. And a fool and his money will soon part.
Yep.
So
anything great in life, and that's why we always say how you do anything is how you do everything. And as you guys will keep on listening to the financial conversation that we have, you'll notice how much it is in full alignment with the wellness disciplines that we teach. It takes hard work, it takes discipline, it takes patience, it takes complete focus, right? It takes being intentional 100% of the time with everything that you do.
Now,
right?
Part of me wants to say how much money we made yesterday, but I feel like this is an appropriate conversation as an example, not as like a, but I don't want to, if it's, this is a money conversation, right? And if we want to teach you guys how to make money, it's important also that you know where we stand. Unless you think it's not a good idea.
I don't care. Like, what's your intention with it?
My intention is to say the amount of hard work that has gone into and how long it has taken to get to where we are. And we're not even close to where we want to be, right? Like, we don't even have to use us as an example. Anybody, like, no overnight success happens overnight.
Yeah.
Right? There is, people hear about it overnight, but the work that was done to get there was so much. It's that beneath the surface, right? Yeah. It's the bottom, like 70% of the iceberg, right? The trial, the failure, the discipline, the disappointment, the being said no to, the grinding, the late nights, the working on the weekends, the doing things you don't know how to do, getting outside your comfort zone,
the doing more of the things that you don't feel like doing. That's what I call overcoming yourself. Just like, when somebody says, oh, but I don't want to be the only person in the room who doesn't splurge. But do you want to be fat? Right? So discipline is so important, and the same goes with money. Like what you want to blow it off, like ride a nice Beamer, but like by the end of the day, like if in 14 days your job gets cut, like you have nothing coming in, you're not even like you haven't earned, like you want to earn like the life that you live, just like you want to earn the body that you live in, right? So step one is you gotta earn it. Right? And we're going to get into like more specific details with regards to like strategies on how you can do it, because most people know one way, and that is go get a job, right?
So in our first year, like we actually, as a company, like we actually went negative. Right? Like in our first year, we went negative. We did a lot of shit for free. We still do a lot of shit for free, but at least now we get compensated. Which is great, and we're always going to do things for free, but a lot of people don't want to work if they're not getting something from it immediately, and that is something that is going to take you down every time. Yeah. You have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be willing to prove to people that you're worth their money. You, like, everybody, somebody somewhere has money that you want to earn, right? And it gets passed around between all of us, right? Money that we get is going to go to somebody else, and then that money is going to go to somebody else, and eventually it's going to come back to you. Like, it's just being exchanged and flowing everywhere, and money needs to keep moving. Yeah. If money's stagnant, it's doing nothing, right? So,
money is a product of value add, right? And that's why it's also important to feel really good about yourself, because you know, this is going to sound really harsh. However, this is speaking from my own personal experience. Right? When I was overweight and I was struggling with my eating, and I felt like a fat piece of shit every day who did not want to get out of the house, I couldn't add value to myself. There was no way in hell I could add value to other people. So just by the way that people treat their body, they're blocking themselves of so many good things. And that's why that is step one, right? Because you want to add value to others. And if you're not at a point where you can add value to others, then guess what? You're blocking yourself of greatness. Becoming an employee will 0.01% of the time will help you to gain financial freedom. You just have to be, I'm not saying it's not impossible, but you will definitely have to have more than one stream of income, I can tell you that. And it's going to take really hard work for decades.
Mm-hmm. And you have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And I see Dave Ramsey's name being dropped. Dave Ramsey has really good strategies to get out of like shitty consumer debt. Mm-hmm. Now, there is debt that is worth having, and it provides
leverage.
It provides a lot of benefits in regards to taxes and leverage, and yes. Now, so everything has a time and a place, right? Dave Ramsey has a time and a place, but going into debt can sometimes be the best thing that you could do.
Consumer debt, on the other hand, different story.
Anything that moves you forward in life is worth going into debt for.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. It's called an investment. Anything that moves you forward. Anybody, if you guys have invested money in yourselves on, like if you're in our inner circle, if you've done our transformation, any of our other products or services that are digital, like you have invested money in yourself. If it's going to move you forward, if it has the potential energy to move you forward, it is an investment.
Yeah. The value that it'll add to your life is at least 10 times the amount that you put down. That's called an investment.
Buying some shit like this is a payment. This doesn't do shit for me.
That's a liability.
This loses value every day, and it doesn't make me any money. It just keeps my feet from being dirty, I guess, on the ground. Yeah. It's cozy, right? So there's a difference between paying for things and investing. A car, not an investment.
Nope.
It does not gain you any, unless it gains you money. Unless you get to write it off at the end of the year, and it only makes you money, right? Like, you buy a Tesla and it's super energy efficient and it doesn't cost you a lot in gas or maintenance, and it takes you to places that are going to get you deals and make you money. Great, that would be an investment. But if you're buying a Mercedes because you want to look cool, that's a liability.
Okay, step one is go get your money. Go get your money so that the inflow can be as great as possible. And by the way, don't feel bad for being a hustler. Be a fucking hustler, dude. Like, worry about yourself. Don't worry about other people. Average people are gonna say, you work too much, you work too hard. Man. Like, don't you wanna live a life where like, bitch, I wanna be free. Right? The naysayers are always gonna try to bring you down because they have given up on themselves a long, long time ago. So remember, being a hustler is good. Being a hustler is okay. Being a hustler is what's gonna take you over the edge. It's a mindset thing. The harder you work, the more you're gonna get in return. However, you need to be smart with your intentions because otherwise you're literally gonna like be like a hamster on a wheel, just like girls who do cardio for 2 hours, right? Right? They work so hard, but they're not getting anywhere, right? Because they're not investing in their metabolism. They're draining their metabolism. You work hard without an intention. Yes, you're bringing in money, but it's gonna be taken away from you. Aha, see? How you do anything is how you do everything. So,
what was the first, when you just went on that little stretch, what was the first thing that you said to open that up?
Earn it. Earn it. Be a hustler.
Oh, be a hustler. Yes. Okay. Thank you. So when it's also parallel with weight loss, when you start getting results, when people see that you're not indulging in as many cupcakes or the nachos that get ordered to the table for the whole group and you're not partaking, because like, oh, come on, live a little. Oh, come on, just one. Oh, come on. Oh, she's the healthy one. She's not going to have any. And they like hate.
Almost, yeah.
Right? They hate, they're joking. They're not joking. They don't have the balls to do what you're doing, so they're going to try to bring you down with them. So you eat the chips so that they don't feel bad about themselves eating the chips. That's how it goes. So now the same thing is with money. When you hustle hard, when you work hard for what you want and you truly believe in it, there will be people who say, you work too hard, you do too much, come on, take a break. Your mom did this too. You guys need to go. And yes, you do need to live. However, it's the same concept of short-term pain for long-term gain. Guess what? You can hate on me for hustling as hard as I can possibly hustle for 5 to 10 years, but I'm going to be living from the age of 40 on doing whatever the fuck I want to, and you're going to be bagging groceries.
And we're not saying that that makes you lesser, but what we're saying is that you're capable of living up to your full potential, but the people that you surround yourself with are either going to make the journey a lot harder for you, or if you are not strong-headed enough, they're gonna stray you and distract you. I'm
not saying that any person who bags groceries is any lesser of a person. I'm not saying anybody who works at McDonald's is lesser of a person, or Starbucks, or wherever. Nobody is lesser of a person, but you do have to work harder for less money. That's what I'm saying.
And that is the saddest thing, because you feel so fucking trapped.
And as you get older, do you think it's easier to work harder or harder to work harder?
Harder, because you're generating less energy.
So your ass gotta be okay with being willing to work hard as fuck.
That's why health is the generator. It is your obligation to be in optimal health, because then you can hustle harder. And then when you hustle harder, you got to know the steps. It's your obligation. If you want to live a free life, it's all an investment. It's an investment in your time. It's an investment in your energy. And if you're really doing it right, then you want to surround yourself with the right people. And it's going to take an investment with regards to resources and spending money. And guess what? The more you invest in yourself, the more you're going to rise to the top. That's just a fact.
Right? You know what, too? I want to say something else. Not every day feels like you're going forward.
No, absolutely
not. No matter what you're doing, not every day feels like you're going forward. Regardless of, I don't even know what you guys think of us actually, except for what I hear. But, you know, you may think that we have our shit together. Like all the time. We show up here, we are happy people, right? We're happy, we have an amazing relationship, we have a business that's doing great. You know, we truly have everything to be grateful for. Absolutely, we recognize it every single day. But there are moments where we feel the same things that everybody else feels: defeat, disappointment, sad, scared. We feel those things just like anybody. But what I keep reminding myself of, no matter what, bottom line is that as long as you keep showing up and doing your best every single day with an intention to move forward to the best of your ability, you will succeed if done consistently.
Amen.
That's the bottom line. It's not rocket science. It's not complicated. It's show the fuck up each day. Stop making so many goddamn excuses.
You know,
this is like me talking to the me of, and this topic too is maybe might sting like some of our health or weight loss topics, right? But it's the truth. And these are things that I'll say to my past self. Stop being a little bitch. Stop thinking you're gonna get things for not doing anything.
Take ownership.
Stop trying to take the easy road. Stop trying to think that shit's just gonna fall into your lap. It will, once you put in the work for long enough.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to put in the work for long enough.
Yeah.
And most people don't, because once something gets hard, once something gets scary, once you approach an obstacle that you don't know how to get over, we stop, we quit. Way too short. So my church sermon today is to inspire you to just be okay with hard work. Be okay with working hard as long as you know it's productive and it's going to move you forward.
And that's the importance of being intentional. Mm-hmm. Because that's the difference between investing your time than wasting your time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, time is also a resource like money. It's more
time
important.
Is the most valuable resource.
Right. So you can invest it or you can waste it.
Up to you.
Just like the dollar bill.
So we talked about step 1 and step 2. Okay, so earn it, right? Save it, and then multiply it. And that's why this is a process that takes a long time. And it's just like weight loss, you guys. It's the concept of the compound effect and momentum. Right? So here's like my 2 cents for you guys. So for one, in order to get on the right path, okay, a good standard to have is to set aside 40%. Now for 40% for most people might seem like too much. However, it's gonna give you a real good reality check with regards to how much harder you have to work in order to actually follow that rule. Once you follow that rule, like for the first couple of months and years and maybe decades, right, it's not gonna seem like a lot, but over time it's going to compound, right? And the goal is to get you into investments, sustainable investments. All these bullshit investments, like there's so much out there nowadays. It's literally like all these like fad, like diet pills and weight loss programs. Swear to God, it's the same thing. Put some money into Netflix, Apple.
You're gonna make money so fast.
No, like anything that comes easy will be taken away. And also, if you're putting your money in stocks, putting $100 is not gonna fucking change your life. If you wanna put money into Apple, Apple is a great company to invest in. However, in order to really get a lump sum from it, you'll need to have a lot of money. And that's why you have to really like be good at the first 2 steps. So for one, be a fucking hard worker. Embrace it, because then it's gonna give you the chance, once you really practice discipline, to save more. And the more you have saved, the more you put it towards your investments. And only when you get to a point where your passive income, okay, money that works for you, right, that comes from the form of investments. In the future, we're going to talk about the different forms of investments and how you can, work it. When your passive income is higher than your regular expenses, then you can start doing stupid shit. Then you can go get your Mercedes. Then you can go get your Beamer, right? And then you can start looking cool. But so many people, and like the thing is too, man, the reason why we're so passionate about it is that Like big influencers don't even understand this shit. And that's why they mislead everybody else. Lamborghini, Maserati, Ferrari, like jets, all these cool things. But dude, what's gonna happen if like you're gonna be blocked from money next year?
The idea.
What will the rest of your life look like? Do you want it to only get better? Do you want to age like wine? Or do you want to like be like a can of stale beer? It's all about how you invest your time, your energy, and your resources. Invest in yourself. This is your moneymaker. If you don't invest enough here, time, energy, money, guess what? It's not going to show up for you. Right?
There's so many things I wish I made notes because I forgot what I wanted to say. But going back to the 40%, if you take a look at, let's just start with 1 month. Take a look at how much money do you make in a month and what are your monthly expenses, right? And now if you cut out 40% of your income and whatever you had left, can you still pay for all of your expenses? And if the answer is no, you need to audit your expenses like we talked about last time. Go through every single transaction that you had in the month, reoccurring payments or whatever, and rate them on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 means absolutely, completely unnecessary, stupid bullshit, and 5 is absolute necessity. And anything that is a 3 or less, get rid of it.
Yeah.
And 4s and 5s should be essential and things that move you forward in life. Things that make you better, things that either give you more money, things that you need in order to live, like food, of course. But there's a difference between McDonald's drive-thru and a pack of chicken breast.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So go through each of these and rate them, and then figure out if you still can't do 40%, then do what you can. Live, what's the word? Frugally. Frugally? Is that a word? It is now.
Mm-hmm.
But be frugal. Be frugal. Like, the goal is not to look rich. The goal is to fucking be rich.
Hell yeah.
Right? And wanting money doesn't make you greedy. Let's get over this real quick. Wanting money doesn't make you greedy, because if you knew what we wanted to do and why we want the amount of money that we want, hopefully by now you can understand that we're not greedy people.
Yeah.
However, we want a lot of money because, for one, we do want freedom. For two, we want to make a family and we want to give that family everything. We don't want to be stressed about money. Nobody wants to be stressed about money. Is that greedy? To not want to be stressed about money? Is it greedy to want to go on a vacation with your family and not have to worry about having to, dip into your savings and lose in order to go on a vacation? Is that greedy?
And for 3, it's not about the vacation, because vacations barely come. For 3, it's about the impact that we want to make on the rest of the world.
Yeah, I'm not done. It's about, and even traveling too, is about memories. It's about experiencing life with people you love, right? And the things that we want to accomplish in our life and how we want to help and how we want to make an impact requires a shit ton of money.
Yep.
We want to put on events. If we want to actually truly help create change, we need money to do that.
Yep.
Right? So if you want money, ask yourself why. Because there's very wealthy people that are not greedy, and there's wealthy people who are greedy as fuck.
And here's the thing, you know what? It always comes down to a why. Because for one, if you don't have a why, you're not gonna hustle that hard.
True.
You'll want to drink wine
Very
at
true.
5 p.m. Like, you're not gonna make sure that your body is serving you, because you're just gonna settle for less. But like, you need to have a purpose, right? Like, the reason why, we want like billions of dollars is because we have a really big purpose, and we know that it's our obligation to fulfill it. But I feel like the reason why most people settle is because, for one, they're not being educated, right? And for two, if they are educated, it's because they don't really know what they want out of their life. Like they haven't been given the chance to dream. I mean, look how many business school graduates, MBA graduates there are every year. But how many of them are actually doing amazing things in the world? Like, think about it. That is because they don't have a purpose. They went into it with, oh, an MBA is going to give me like a better salary. Guess what? Economy's fucked up. You get no salary. What are you going to do now?
Now you just have a bunch of school debt. At least they loosened some of the interest and stuff on that. Anyways.
So here's the thing, you know, if you're watching this on YouTube and you like these money topics, we know that we're like really giving you guys like the raw, real, authentic stuff. Do us a favor and please hit subscribe.
And also don't be weird about money.
Yeah, no. Just like with weight loss, like get real with yourself. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to take ownership. If you're watching this on Facebook and you're like, man, like this is where it's at, like invite people into our group. Share this with your friends, right? It's all about sharing the love. You guys, we're getting super real and super vulnerable because we truly care about you guys. Otherwise, we won't show up 5 days a week for 1 hour at 6:30 every single morning, you know?
Which used to be a half hour.
Yeah, but more value added. Give us a thumbs up right now if you're watching this and you're liking these topics. So now, you know, Richie, who's like our like mentor, right? He's amazing. Richie Dolan. He himself has raised billions of dollars, right? But he said, whenever you guys have a money conversation, always make sure that you have an offer at the end. So look, like we said, we are Grant Cardone licensees, which means that we actually are accredited to teach you Grant Cardone stuff, who is like the most amazing sales guru in the world, okay? There's a lot of like trolls out there, but he is legit. Now, here's the thing. We are able, okay, to give you guys an opportunity to get on his Cardone University for 7 days for free. If you're watching this and you're like, you know what, I would love to listen to more of what he says. He's amazing. Everything that we're talking about are things that he taught us, okay? If you want to take this opportunity, then do us a favor. Either send us a message, or if they're on YouTube, how they can do it, just drop a comment. Say, I'd like more information.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, if you want to learn literally like the king of sales, personal finance, business finance, investing, personal development, mindset, growth. Like, if you want to learn from the best, who we've learned from, you have to send me a message. Send me a Facebook message, or if this is on YouTube, drop a comment below. And let's hook you up with 7 days of free Cardone University. It's absolutely epic. It's what we did. Then we did a mentorship. And we're going to a boot camp in July. And like, you go in deep, and it has literally transformed our lives, transformed our business, transformed everything. Yeah. So if you want to take the next step and you're willing to get resourceful, to invest in yourself, yes, after 7 days, they're going to make an offer to you. Shame on them if they don't, because they have the fucking golden ticket when it comes to this stuff. So they will pitch to you after those 7 days.
We're actually not sure, Crystal, what's the investment after the 7 days, because they have a few different plans. They have a corporate plan, an individual.
I think it's monthly though, regardless, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a monthly. There's a couple different options.
It's worth 100 times more than that. We can just tell you that for a fact.
So I'll tell you, when we signed up for the mentorship, this is not what we're talking about right now, but when we signed up for the mentorship, we paid $997, but then we got the real estate thing too. So it was like $1,200 we spent that day. No, $22, because we both did, right? So we spent $2,200 that day, and the people that we met in that community. So look, if you do the Cardone University and you end up actually paying for it, like, you get into this Facebook group that is like heaven connections, everything,
and opportunities, anything like money related.
Within the first week of us paying that $2,200, how much did we make?
I don't know, but more than that.
Like,
we multiplied it.
Yeah, we made like 2.5 times what we had put in within 1 week of signing up for that. Just because of the connections. So if you have, like, every single person has something to offer. You have something to offer. You have a skill. You have a genius. Right? You have something to offer.
And if right now you're like, I don't have a job, he actually did a course on how you can go get a job, like literally go find a job in 72 hours. So like you guys literally, like if I said it just like I said for Team X and D, like if you don't take up this opportunity, like shame on you. You honestly just don't want to get better. And that's fine. Like you're probably just not ready for it. However, we're so passionate about it because we know that we're all up in it.
Because it's the truth.
And here's the thing. Notice we're doing the same thing. Like we're asking you the same thing as Grant asks us to do. Like if something has added value to your life, don't be selfish with it. Share it. Right? So like we want to share it with you guys because we know that it has helped us tremendously over the last couple of months. And we want to help it to transform you as well.
If you've been through our inner circle or transformation, or you've worked with us where Sarit and I have been present there on a regular basis, and we do what we do with fitness, health, and fat loss, he does for personal development and finance and financial security and freedom. Right? Like, I truly believe we have the golden ticket and we have cracked the code to this like body transformation.
That's what Kirsten said yesterday.
That's where I got it from. And he has done the same in this realm.
Yeah.
1,000,000, gazillion, babillion times worth it.
Yeah.
So either comment below or send me a message on Facebook.
Actually, send Erin a message on Facebook because to be honest, I'm not going to go through comments. Just saying.
I get emails every time there's a comment on YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube. Okay, I thought.
Yeah, no, not in the comments here. They will go
If you're
away.
watching this on Facebook, send Erin a Facebook message. If you're watching this on YouTube, then make a comment because we're not going to go back and read the comments here, just being honest. But we hope that you found this useful, helpful. Remember, every Wednesday, money conversation. You guys, we got to get better with our money. And if we don't talk about it, we
can't be about it.
We can't be about it. Exactly. And that's what this is all about. So I hope that you guys have an amazing day. We will catch you tomorrow at 6:30. In the meantime, have an amazing day.
Bye.